Welcome to Never Rewrite. I'm Isaac Askew.
And I'm Jeffrey Sherman, and today we're going to talk about celebrating the small wins. So, part of the appeal of a rewrite is you have this idea of the Big Bang moment. You turned off the old, you've cut the switch, you have the new system, it's in production. You can have a release party and all of these trappings like that. It's done, it's
Yeah.
over, and it's done. I mean, it never happens. The system immediately falls over, all the rest of it. But like there's an event and you get to it, you get to the finish line, and it's awesome. And if you iteratively replace things, there is no giant finish line. And if you made something 5% better, that's awesome. But it's harder to celebrate. And
Hmm.
so it can be discouraging. You can have the long now problem where because there's always the same system. Like that is our entire thesis is you will always have the same system. And so you have it's the system, and you have the system, and then tomorrow will be the system, and you change the system a little bit. Like you don't celebrate every feature you push, you don't celebrate every bug you fix. So how do you celebrate wins when you thesis ship? How do you keep the morale up and get people to notice? So I have a couple of thoughts
Okay.
that we could go through, and we could talk about some disastrous things that people have not done well, or that I've seen that go well. So one thing that I think goes well is you can have a look back, because the thing about iterative improvement is that the improvements compound. And so when you have the ability to have metrics and you're keeping track of these things, it may not be obvious. If the old adage here, if you do 1% better every week, it's by the end of the week, by the end of a year, it's not 52% better. I don't remember what the number is, but it's like
Hmm.
it's significantly more than 52% better because the 1% is compounding every week. But you don't notice 1% better. So
Yeah.
you've got to look back. And so, if you have a monthly review where you say, look, here's where we were 6 months ago, and here's where we were 3 months ago, and here's where we are now, that gives people the look back of, oh, wow, yeah, we were 1% better, and now it's like 40% better from 6 months ago.
Yeah. I think that's important for the same reason that 1% better in like your day to day is difficult. Like when you think of going to the
Mm-hmm.
gym, right? You're
Yes,
like, it's like a similar thing where like, oh, I want to be super in shape and have 6-pack abs, you know, and be
I
able to
do.
bench my body weight and all that. And then like the idea that you have to get 1% better every day, essentially to kind of get to that, is not a good sell. People don't like hearing that. They
No,
want
it's a
instant
terrible sell.
gratification, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that look back thing is important because I think for the same reason, like sticking with the gym for me, it's easier to do that if I go with somebody because if I'm by myself, if it's a rainy
Accountability.
day, there's accountability, right?
Yeah.
And then later, we actually did the same thing. We have like metrics. We have a look back thing where I use an app to record how many reps I did, and how much weight that was. And then it
Mm.
tells you at the end of it, you know, you've benched this much in pounds, and like you can look back at the last week and it'll compare and show you, oh, well, either you stayed the same this week, which sometimes is the case because you don't get
Yeah,
better every
often.
week, or
Bodies are
you've gotten a
weird.
little bit better, right? So not having that and just going quiet and just going to the gym every day and not measuring anything and just
Mm-hmm.
trying to make improvements, but not knowing if you did. um, Not quite the same analogy because I guess in this case you do know
It's
you made
totally the same
improvements.
analogy. Because it's not it's how to give yourself the how to show yourself that you are improving and
Hmm.
keep the momentum and keep yourself bought in, because humans are bad with small number, like with
Yeah.
change, with small change. And if you don't remind yourself fairly consistently, you won't realize that you're changing, and you
Right,
will
and you
become
fall
demotivated.
off. I
Yeah.
think it's like a discipline thing, and it
Mm-hmm.
goes across all areas. I think the same people who want the big bang rewrite gratification and a huge
Mm-hmm.
success story, not the same people per se, but it's the same kind of concept of that. I notice change when it's dramatic,
Right.
and
Yeah. I
like,
would love
and
to pop
it's
some
really,
steroids and
or like people who
bulk
try to
up.
do day trading, or trade options instead of just like
Mm.
investing in index funds. That's so boring. Index funds,
Yeah.
1%, 1%. You do the look back. Oh wow, actually over the past 5 years, that's quite a lot. Versus
Yeah.
somebody who tries to gamble it or use options or something, They get that one hit if they got lucky, but other than that, no, they don't, it's just too much. But you have to train yourself to go slow, like the was that other
Go
adage,
slow to
which is
go
like,
fast.
well, that's one of them. But like if you go alone, you go fast. If you go together, you go far. You have to.
Mm.
The idea is like if you have a company of people, the larger you get, the slower you tend to move, but the further you tend to get because you've got um, more delegation, maybe less
Hmm.
risk offset if one person fails.
So that's an interesting way to put it. So you're trying to celebrate the wins.
Hmm.
You've got the slow train going. You know, as a leader, you know your team is going to struggle with this. How do you build in accountability? With how do you make yourself account, or how do you build in observability and
Hmm.
actually make sure that people observe it? What are the besides like a thing that I do a lot is okay. I will do it in Slack, but that requires me to
Yeah,
remember to do it, and you can set an alarm, which is what I do. So but how could you bring in the accountability partner idea of it?
I think for the coding piece, having like wins, like what you
Hmm.
shipped this week, you can automate that and like hear the commits and who committed them and hear the big things released since last week.
Hmm.
That's the coding side of, oh, we've made progress. But what would also be cool is like what I've seen that some of the companies do is they'll like actually look and see the customers that responded to the thing they delivered. Because a lot of times the
Oh
customers aren't
yeah,
even asking for huge things. Like, oh, I just want this whole thing to work, or this would be nice here and there and there. But if you include, oh, we shipped this thing and this fixes the thing that the customer has been complaining about a while. Here's what they said about it. Oh, thanks, Active Campaign. You guys did such a good job. I've been worried about this forever. And you
yeah.
celebrate, oh, here are the people that were responsible for making sure that got prioritized and delivered. Good job. People are noticing you. I think that would be a great
Hmm.
way to highlight it.
Yeah, that is also brilliant because I like that because like a look back chart is great, but if you automate it, people are going to stop looking at it.
Yeah.
Whereas customer feedback and linking that to the action,
And to
you
the
can't control it. You can't
and to the
control when
business
customers are going to
outcome
say
too.
happy. Yeah.
Like people are actually caring because a lot of times I think your features get lost. Like, oh, this is just a thing we're
Hmm.
working on. If the developer gets tied back to the problem of the customer they're solving, and they can see change and see like that actually like confirms you're working on the right thing. Because if you work on
Hmm.
stuff and nobody cares, that's kind of a canary in the coal mine anyway. So it's almost like you'd kind of want to make sure that as you like I don't know if you guys do this thing where each week whenever you release stuff you might send a newsletter out saying here's what's fixed this week or here's what's changed this week at Active Campaign or what we
No, we
delivered.
have actually, what happened to? Yeah, you just reminded me that I did a hackathon project that
Mm.
tried to feed our Git commits into I don't remember what model, but into a model that would then produce a summary of what we released this week. And everyone loved the idea, and then I don't know what happened to it. So that is something I'm going to take away for my day job
Yeah,
and figure out what happened to that because that is a useful thing.
it would seem like everything you'd work on, unless it's a slow burn thing that you're working on that like will take a long time to deliver, which is not what we're
Hmm.
talking about here. We're talking about
Yeah,
iterative
we don't.
delivery.
You should deliver every week.
Assuming the prerequisite of iterative delivery, you would
Hmm.
imagine everything you delivered had some impact to somebody, and if it didn't, maybe that's a warning that you're not working on the right thing anyway,
Or that it didn't work the way you thought it did. Right? Like
or that.
it, it also helps with the experimentation aspect of and making you into a good scientist
Mhm.
where I did this thing, and here was the impact I expected, and nothing happened.
Yeah,
All right, well, that's not a failure per se until I look into it and find out why. Like, I did something and I was wrong about the impact is not a failure.
yeah,
It's
it's a lesson.
it's a lesson of some kind, right?
Yeah,
Like, was I wrong about the impact? Did I not actually achieve the change I wanted? Something. There's a lesson there, and there's learning.
yeah. And actually, the smaller the piece, it might be easier to see the change because
Hmm.
if it's been like a week since last release, well, not a lot of people do daily releases, but if it's been a week at your company since last release, and you see a dramatic change that can't really be explained by something seasonal, then maybe
Hmm.
the thing that you delivered worked, but in the wrong way, in the negative way, and then
I've
actually,
definitely released stuff that
yeah,
had
and maybe we
the
should
wrong
revert that.
impact.
Yeah, it's the wrong. Like it's like the A/B test, and you put the B out, and like actually your traffic got worse. Okay, we shouldn't have done that. Let's try a different thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. So this is still look back, but it is, I think what we're saying is you should have the look back window so that you can see the progress over time. You
Yeah.
should also have a more immediate look back window of everything you do, ideally has an experiment, has a thesis on it of
Yeah.
this is the impact I expect it to have, and can I measure it? And if you
Yeah.
can't measure it, that's also a sign.
Yeah. I think so. And then that kind of reinforces the habits engineers have done in the past is they get lost in their work and
Mm-hmm.
they don't really care about they care about the problem because it's a fun problem to solve. They don't really struggle with the actual customer going, it's not importing my contacts. They don't usually,
Mm-hmm.
because they're not having to do that on the day to day. This directly ties you back to that. Because if somebody's like, oh my God, thank you. I've been splitting my
It's
CSV into three
imports.
pieces to get all my
Yes.
contacts to go in. I don't have to do that anymore. Thank you, whoever did this. And then you can give accolades to the person on your team who delivered it. That's great. It makes
Yeah.
everybody feel better. And it makes sure that everyone's aligned with business interests too.
Yeah. And if nothing else, remember to celebrate because it's important to celebrate the little wins and not try to get yourself a giant win so that you feel like you deserve a celebration.
Agreed.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for listening. I'm Jeffrey Sherman.
And I'm Isaac Askew, and this is Never Rewrite.